Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We're very happy you could join us. We have here today Mickey Weinberg, brings SVP of Business Development, to discuss Amazon one-day delivery, how retailers can stay one step ahead. After the presentation, we'll move into a Q&A session, so feel free to enter your questions at any time into your display. Now, over to Mickey.
Thank you very much, Sasha. And hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. What we thought we would do today is talk through some of the recent events in the whole retail delivery space and analyze them and talk about our take on what really is happening in the markets, and then summarize by providing a few tips for the retailers as well as the logistics or 3PL companies in the room for how to stay ahead in this age of Amazon. So if we're talking about Amazon, many of you have probably heard about the recent announcement by Amazon that it's going to invest $800 million over the coming quarter in order to elevate their Prime experience from next day for free to same day for free for their Prime members. So $800 million is a lot of money even for a company like Amazon. And we pick on that event because to us, it's a culmination or the epitome of a phenomenon that we're experiencing in several verticals and several industries that we are active in. So maybe worth mentioning for a second that retail is the most recent entrant into this age of digitization and delivery maturity. It started with transportation. Companies like Uber and Get Taxi that revolutionized the way people address transportation. And then restaurants that have also been in the delivery game for quite a while. Groceries are up and coming and making significant traction. Over 41% of households in the United States order groceries online on a weekly basis. And that number is expected to go up to 55% by the end of 2021. And now retail is really making a shift led by Amazon. So today I want to maybe start by talking about this announcement by Amazon and examining what's behind it and what we can learn from it as retailers and logistics players in this space. So the real question is, what does Amazon know that others don't? The short answer is a lot. Amazon is the world heavyweight champion in e-commerce. $1 out of $2 that Americans spend on e-commerce goes through Amazon. And essentially, it turns out that among the many secret weapons that they have, the most important one they have is an obsession about customer experience. So the delivery experience to us defines the customer experience. When you think about it, today, in the age of e-commerce, the real customer experience starts on the checkout screen. Going online, picking merchandise, shopping, going through the whole e-commerce experience is now somewhat commoditized. If you shop on Amazon, or if you shop on eBay or on Shopify, or if you use Salesforce's platform, you're going to get an excellent online experience. It's very difficult to differentiate or delight a customer. The world has changed. Customers are now inviting us into their own homes as retailers, as brand, as logistics companies, and that is now affecting the customer experience. Starting from the options you receive on the checkout screen, to the ability to track the package, see where the driver is with it, and actually also be able to interact with the driver and say, I need another 30 minutes, please come later, or please leave the goods with my neighbor. Those are all really what creates the customer experience, and brands and retailers are now rethinking their strategy and their brand as they are now being invited into the homes of customers. An important statistic to keep in mind as we go through these conversations is that e-commerce has been growing at roughly 20% per year for the past 10 years, compared to only 3 to 4% for offline retail. So essentially, More and more of the brand experience is defined through the fulfillment of the e-commerce experience. So you might think that customer experience is a relatively new obsession for Amazon, but I thought I'd share a quick clip with Jeff Bezos, Amazon CEO, from over 20 years ago.
But I believe that if you can focus obsessively enough on customer experience, selection, ease of use, low prices, more information to make purchase decisions with, if you can give customers all that, plus great customer service, and with our toys and electronics, we have a 30-day return policy. If you can do all of that, then I think you have a good chance, and that's what we're trying to do.
You're not really a pure internet company anymore either, are you? I mean, you've got millions of square feet now of real estate. You've got a huge and growing inventory of items that you keep in stock.
We do whatever.
And you've got thousands and thousands of employees now.
Yeah, we have over 3,000 employees and over 4 million square feet of distribution center space. And those are things I'm very, very proud of, because with that distribution center space and half a dozen distribution centers around the country, it allows us to get product close to customers so that we can ship it to customers in a very timely way, which improves customer service levels. That's what we're about. If there's one thing Amazon.com is about, it's obsessive attention to the customer experience, end to end.
Obsessive attention to the customer experience. This is Jeff Bezos 20 years ago. And that's the secret sauce that has made Amazon the monster that it is in the world of e-commerce. And it turns out that Amazon is not the only one who understood this. Retailers are quickly catching up. Notice that Bezos says nothing about the cost of delivery and efficiency, even though that's clearly a priority. But you can only assume that the same economics that apply to other retailers apply to some extent to Amazon, and retailers on average are charging customers $8.08 for faster delivery, but it's costing them $10.10 according to Capgemini, right? So anyone who is willing to look at fulfillment and delivery as a critical strategic part of their delivery experience is not going to look to optimize for delivery profitability. They're going to maximize for customer experience. Because as Amazon realized, when you're obsessive about customer experience, when you can provide the products faster, at a lower cost, in a more flexible way, customers will shop more, customers will be more loyal, they'll come back more, and they can also enjoy impulse shopping. So why is this announcement coming now? Why has Amazon decided to break its own world record customer service by providing same-day free delivery? Well, it's because the omnichannel retailers are catching up with Amazon's two-day promise, right? And we're seeing companies like Walmart and Target responding to the Amazon announcement, and we're seeing two-day shipping becoming the standard within retail. And if our goal is not to necessarily just maximize profitability of deliveries, but delight our customers by providing the ultimate experience, two-day delivery may not be sufficient. And again, that's going to depend on your industry and your geography. All right, so to summarize this point, important to emphasize, retail strategy must shift from optimizing for delivery profitability to maximizing the customer experience. Because when you provide that customer experience, you create that brand recognition and you delight your customers. So you might say, what chance does the average retailer have in the age of Amazon and being able to provide the same level of experience that this behemoth is providing? In reality, Amazon may have set itself up for more competition from retailers, because speed being one of the most critical aspects for customer experience, retailers that have several storefronts spread out across the country may actually have an advantage in faster deliveries. Target is said to be delivering 80% of their deliveries from store, and many retailers can benefit from that advantage as well if they set themselves up for delivering from store. And that's just one example of how the Amazon effect can be viewed more as an opportunity than it is a threat. So let's boil these things down to the strategy that retailers and logistics companies should consider when setting up their delivery strategy. I would say the first and most important thing is to leverage the right delivery partners. Every industry has its own expected SLA by customers, and it may be that a smaller, forward-thinking 3PL may be better than a national one, and a mix of them could actually be the right solution, but that creates challenges in terms of integration and orchestration of all the delivery operations across multiple fleets. And that's really the space that we play in by helping our customers and logistics companies be part of a consistent, seamless experience that provides a great, consistent customer experience, but also allows our customers to retain control over the customer experience and the customer data. For those of you using full service types of fleets that come with an e-commerce platform, or for those of you relying on a single major fleet, think about your delivery strategy. Oftentimes in conversations with customers, we talk to them and ask them, what is your strategy for deliveries? And they will give us the name of a full service provider, like in Uber Eats or an Amazon or whoever it may be, depending on the strategy. That's not a strategy. Excuse me. That is a solution. And we encourage our customers to think about the type of experience that they would like to provide their customers and adjust and pick the right delivery partners, either from our network of fleets or from ones that they have relationships with or their own fleet, in order to maximize that customer experience at an affordable, responsible cost. The other thing is to synchronize operations with technology. Technology standalone will not provide the delivery experience that you need for your customers. It's important to analyze and understand the sources of inventory, be they warehouses, dark stores, in the cases of restaurants, kitchens, and in the cases of grocers, obviously their stores. And be able to synchronize the operations with the right technologies, and oftentimes more than one technology is needed in order to be able to set up for efficient, scalable operations. Build on your brand values, and I can't emphasize this enough. If you are a luxury brand, your customers are used to coming into your stores and experiencing a very high-end sales experience. Getting a brown box from a warehouse may not be how you want to present yourself to your customers. Same goes for convenience brands. So the delivery experience now has become not only an extension of the in-store experience, in so many cases, it's a replacement of the in-store experience. And it's our challenge as an evolving industry to mirror the type of brand experience that customers have been receiving in-store to the ones they are now receiving when they get fulfillment of deliveries that they made online. And then finally, we encourage you to think sustainability. And when I say sustainability, I really mean two things. One is, as you scale, the operations and technology are going to be more and more complex. Working with one fleet may be simple, but retaining a consistent customer experience with multiple fleets, with multiple delivery operations, oftentimes with different requirements for every type of delivery, some being on demand, some being scheduled, some requiring special types of vehicles, is going to be complicated. It's very tempting to set up a quick Band-Aid approach and work with one fleet that gives you access to a large footprint, but that is not going to scale well. And you think about having to integrate multiple fleets down the line and integrating and aligning them with all of your back-end systems, that's going to be a challenge. So we encourage our customers to be strategic and think sustainability in that sense. The other sense in which we talk about sustainability is that more and more customers are becoming aware of the ecological impact of deliveries, and they are expecting their brands to also be cognizant and make sure that they are making the smallest footprint possible or impact possible in their deliveries. And that requires optimization of the entire delivery experience to minimize the number of miles that merchandise travels between stores, warehouses, and the end customer. So to recap some of what we talked about today, essentially it all boils down to the customer and the customer experience. We know that you're obsessed about your customers when you develop your products for the retailers in the room. You need to mirror that obsession also with the experience that they're getting, because a lot of how they experience your brand today is through that fulfillment experience. With that, I'll wrap up and invite any questions.
Thanks, Minky. We actually do have a couple questions already from the audience. I encourage others to share their questions now. How would you recommend retailers balance the desire for speed with our customers' willingness to pay for this convenience? Offering same-day delivery at the expense of profitability can be a tough case to make.
Right, that's a great question, Sasha, and one that many of our customers grapple with. And in reality, it's not a one-size-fits-all. When we start working with our customers, we start by assessing their business goals and their infrastructure in terms of where their inventory is located, the volume of deliveries that they either have or are anticipating, and we help them optimize. Because when we say that customers or our customers, enterprises, should be obsessed about customer experience and optimize for customer experience versus cost of delivery, that is not to say that they shouldn't be cognizant of the real cost of delivery. So finding that balance can be challenging, and we help our customers by figuring out whether delivering from store might be right for them, whether offering 2-day or same-day delivery is the right option, and which and how many fleets they might want to use in order to accomplish their delivery strategy.
Thank you, Mickey. We have an additional question here. How can technology play an essential role in the game on delivery day?
That's another great question. So when you think about it, the whole delivery operations puzzle is a very complex one. Companies working or enterprises working with multiple fleets across multiple regions, having customers spread out all over the place, need to integrate, optimize, and orchestrate all of their operations in order to get the goods to their customers at the minimum time and with the most consistent customer experience while owning that customer experience. And so technology is really the key aspect that allows customers to accomplish that. And it's no coincidence that Amazon spends $23 billion every year on research and development, because they too understand that any manual labor that affects the delivery experience, other than, of course, the delivery, which is also slowly disappearing from the world with drones and autonomous cars, is going to jeopardize the optimization. Leveraging things like AI in order to understand how long certain deliveries take and time on site in the cases of service use cases. All of these things are critical in order for companies to remain competitive and be able to operate all of their delivery strategy in a seamless, scalable way.
Great. Next question. Regarding the synchronization with technology, what is, in your view, the best strategy to deliver a technology backbone to cope with the ecosystem of providers that could go from small app-based companies to big and traditional 3PLs?
Right, and so that essentially touches on the reason why Bring chose its approach to delivery orchestration. We realize that the existing infrastructure varies tremendously from one company to the other. The back-end systems, the point of sale systems, the in-store infrastructure are all different. And it's unrealistic to expect an enterprise to take a rip and replace approach and essentially use any technology platform as a standalone solution and adapt their data feeds to enable that. That's why we took the enterprise-grade approach of working with existing infrastructure and integrating with any type of systems that our customers have in order to have a minimal impact on the way they work while having the maximum impact on the customer experience.
Thank you, Mickey. Another question here. We are regularly looking at improving our inventory management solution, but do not yet have real-time inventory visibility. Do you have any experience working with retailers in our position? How can we offer deliver from store if we don't know exactly what we have in our store?
Absolutely. So, in the beginning of my presentation, I talked about retail being in its infancy in terms of delivery maturity. And in that sense, we saw early on that many of our customers wishing to leverage that storefront presence to create faster deliveries for less struggled with things like in-store inventory management systems. And for that reason, we built tools that allow them to get a grip on in-store inventory, to be able to leverage that infrastructure to deliver from store. And there are also other operational processes on which we've picked up expertise over the years of actually being able to sell goods and then provide alternatives in cases where that inventory doesn't exist in store. We recommend that you speak with us offline. We'll get a better understanding of your infrastructure and would be happy to follow up and propose an approach.
Great. We have one additional question here. Delivering from store sounds great, but it seems that it will bring a lot of overhead. Can you share any examples of how companies are successfully managing this?
Sure. So this really varies based on the type of business and the volume of deliveries, but we see multiple approaches from the industry of how to handle that deliver from store paradigm. And in many cases, it involves a little bit of technology and some tweaks to processes and people. So for example, store associates being leveraged for doing some of these deliveries in their idle time, batching deliveries to avoid delivering throughout the peak times of the day, and many other types of solutions around that. Again, this is a case by case and industry by industry, and would be happy to have the conversation offline and see how we might be able to help.
Great. We have an additional question that's come in. Catalog management software integrated with delivery software. How to bring all these software systems into one?
Right. That's clearly a challenge, and I think whoever is asking this question demonstrates their understanding of the critical importance of a holistic view into delivery strategy. So I'm very happy about the question. It's critically important that all of the systems are interconnected and integrated so that we are able to reflect to the customer at any point in time what they can receive, when they can receive it, how they can receive it, and to the asker's question, what is going to be the current price. And so we've built various solutions around that for customers throughout the years, and it's now integrated as part of our product. And again, would love to have the conversation and see how we might be able to help resolve this specific situation.
Looks like we have one last question. Maybe you have some input in alternative fuels or e-trucks and the customer expectations towards that related to sustainability. Do you have any comments on that?
Absolutely. So to the point earlier that I made about sustainability, customers are quickly becoming more and more sensitive to the ecological footprint or impact that retailers are having for deliveries. And there are multiple solutions that are coming out that are much more environmentally friendly, and customers are expecting to receive those. For every industry, there are different standards for what's considered green, and we are seeing a proliferation of new alternatives like the ones you just mentioned. And one of our missions is to remain in close touch with the various innovative providers of delivery services within every one of our industries so that we are able to address those needs that our customers have to provide their customers with those sustainable green solutions.
Great, thank you, Mickey. Looks like that's all the questions we have for today. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to us either via the website or email us directly at marketing@bring.com. We're happy to assist you further and give you insights further into anything specific on your mind. I want to thank everyone who joined us. We'll be sending the webinar recording to everyone so you can send it to others in your organization who may not have been able to join us today. You should receive it tomorrow. A survey should pop up on your screen momentarily for you to answer just a few short questions. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to reach out. Thank you again, and we hope to see you at our next webinar.